Hello and welcome to Math with Miss V, Proportional Relationships. Do these show equal amounts? So in this video, we will learn how to find the missing part in a proportional relationship. So what is a proportional relationship? A proportional is the term we give when the relationship between two ratios is a constant rate. Proportional relationships have the same unit rate. If they have the same unit rate, then they are equivalent. We can solve using cross multiplication. So our first example is we're looking for the missing part of the ratio. We have 1/3 is equal to 6 over a. Now I'm sure some of you have already realized, well, if I multiply 1 times 6, I get 6. So I can multiply 3 times 6 and get 18, and I know that a equals 18, which is correct. But not everything is that easy, so we want to learn how to use cross multiplication to solve. So with cross multiplication, it gets its name because when we draw arrows connecting what we're multiplying, they cross each other. So we take the denominator of one side and multiply it times the numerator of the opposite side. And then we do the same thing with our other denominator and numerator. So we have 1 times a, which gives us 1a, equals 3 times 6, which gives us 18. We know when we have a 1 and an a, or a number and a variable together with no operation, that means multiplication. And we do undo multiplication with division. So we're going to divide by 1, which doesn't change anything, and we get the same thing, that a equals 18. Let's look at our next example. 4 over 10 equals b over 20. And you might have already figured out the relationship, but we're going to use cross multiplication. So 10 times b gives us 10b, and 4 times 20 gives us 80. We're going to undo this multiplication by dividing by 10. So b equals 80 divided by 10 is 8. Okay, we're going to look at a few more examples. 7 over 35 equals c over 15. And this is one that we can't easily figure out in our heads. So this is where cross multiplication and using a calculator comes in handy. I'm going to multiply diagonally. 35 times c is 35c. 7 times 15, we're grabbing our trusty calculator, gives us 105. We're going to undo this multiplication with division, so divide by 35. So 105 divided by 35, and we get that c equals 3. Next example, 6 over 9 equals 8 over d. I'm going to cross multiply. So 6d equals 72. Divide by 6, divide by 6, and I know that d equals 12. Let's move on. We're going to look at a couple of word problems now. Suppose we have a 2-ounce bag of gummy worms and it has 10 worms in it. How many worms would we expect to be in a 9-ounce bag? Okay, so remember, when we're writing a ratio, it doesn't matter what number we put on top as long as we're consistent. So I'm going to put my ounces on top and my worms in the denominator. So that means my 9-ounce bag will go on top, and my number of worms that I don't know, I'm going to use W in my denominator. I'm going to cross multiply. So 2W equals 90. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and W equals 45. So in a 9-ounce bag, we'd expect to find 45 gummy worms. Our next one, Joe charged his remote control helicopter for 10 minutes and it flew for 35 minutes. how long would he need to charge it for it to fly for 1 hour? Okay, so we have 10 minutes of charge time over 35 minutes of flying time. Okay, we want it to fly for 1 hour. We don't want to put 1 because that would be a different unit, but we know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So we're going to use 60. We're looking for how much time it will fly, so I'm going to use t and cross multiply. 35 times t is 35t. 10 times 60 is 600. We're going to divide by 35, divide by 35. T equals, so we have 600 divided by 35, and I get 17.14 and a lot of other decimals, so I'm just going to say 17.1 minutes. Okay, we have 2 more word problem examples to review. Stephanie worked 15 hours and made $135. She wants to earn $200, so how many hours will she need to work? Okay, I'm going to put my hours on top and my money in the denominator. Okay, we want the number of hours for $200. Cross multiply. 135x equals 200 times 15 gives us 3,000. We're going to divide by 135. So x equals 22.2. But to get to that extra hour, we're going to round up because we want to earn the 200. So we're going to say she needs to work 23 hours. Finally, apples cost $4.50 for 5 pounds. How much would 8 pounds of apples cost? Okay, I'm going to put my pounds in the numerator and my cost in the denominator. I want to know how much 8 pounds will cost. I'm going to cross multiply. 5c equals 8 times 450, which is 36. We're going to divide by 5, divide by 5, and we get that 8 pounds of apples would cost $7.20. Thank you for checking out this Math with Miss V video. I look forward to seeing you in the future.